días, buenas tardes, and welcome to my channel, Divine Esme, where we talk a lot about healing the inner child, your inner wounds, and working towards developing your most authentic and most divine self. So today I want to focus our topic of discussion on imposter syndrome and how imposter syndrome can actually get in the way of you achieving the life that you want and the life that you also desire. So if you love to hear more, please stay tuned. Imposter syndrome. What is that? I've heard that term all over the place, from social networking events to professional environments to social media to just conversations with friends and family to every single place I've heard it like just come up. And also within my own life, I've heard it come up. So for me, I feel like it has shown up in a lot of spaces where I've been wanting to flourish or to share an idea or to be able to apply for a certain role that I feel that I'm highly qualified for, but for some reason it's inhibiting me and holding me back from being able to apply in that. And it's basically your sense of self and your ability to feel that you can fulfill and that you can be in these type of environments and these roles, because something within you is making you feel like you're not good enough for these type of roles. Even though you have the resume, the qualifications, the schooling, the education, like everything lines up perfectly, but our sense of self inhibits us from being able to perform and to be in these type of leadership roles. It could be leadership roles, it could be any type of role that you're looking to be in. And for some of us, we kind of stay stuck in that type of thinking to the point where it really holds us back from being able to apply for certain positions in our life, to opening businesses, to navigating these creative ideas that you have. It really gets in the way of us being able to do the things that we most desire and we most want. So it doesn't give us a seat at the table. And how can something like this really impact you? Well, let me tell you. So for me personally, it's gotten in the way of me being able to apply for certain positions. And when I have applied for certain positions in my life, if it doesn't really go the way I thought it would go, even though I have the qualifications, it sort of just feeds into that narrative to the point where I really don't want to do it and I am all down about it, instead of maybe asking for some, creative, not creative, but instead of asking for some constructive feedback about what may have happened that got in the way of the interviewing process. For example, if it got in the way of the interviewing process and me being able to figure out, well, maybe there's something that I did as an interviewer that didn't help me get the qualifications for this type of role. Or if I'm not even getting my idea out there because I am saying, well, this person already did this, so if they're doing it, I don't think I can do it like they can do it. So it's just a lot of also comparisons of other people doing something and you feeling like you really can't fulfill that role or get yourself into that mindset of I can do this, because you're feeling a sense of I can't do this won't go good, who's gonna show up for me, am I gonna be good enough like this other person, am I gonna thrive in this business, am I gonna do that? So with all that being said, this is something that I've been battling with for a long time. It's come about throughout my professional environments and work where I have applied for positions that maybe I sort of didn't get, and it sort of little by little has fed into that sense of imposter syndrome. And it has gotten in the way of me being able to fulfill a lot of the things that I've been wanting to do in my life. So I decided this year to put a stop to a lot of those thoughts and just do. This year has been a lot about me acting on the things that I know I need to do, even though I'm scared to do them. I took a leap of faith, and Esmeralda Wellness Haven was created. I said, I don't have everything really figured out of what I'm going to do with this business, but I know this is what I want to do. And I know I need to do the initial steps of at least formulating this business, working with an attorney, getting the initial steps figured out, and eventually things will sort of fall where they need to fall for me. And I don't need to have all the answers right now. And Esmeralda Wellness Haven, LLC was finalized, it was done, it was branched, it was open. And do I have it all figured out? Absolutely not. I mean, I went on a podcast shortly after opening it. I couldn't really say what I was, going to do, what type of clients I was going to have, where to reach me, where that. And it doesn't matter. I think even in that situation, like going on the podcast, I was scared to say like, well, I don't really have a website yet. I don't really have this figured out. I don't really have that. But you know what? The step of actually formulating the business was done. And that is something that, took a lot for me to do. It took years for me to be able to take that leap of faith and actually do that part of the business. And that's one of the most important and most crucial steps of being able to open a business, is to really work on the paperwork, the legality of it, and formulating that, and everything else falls into place. Like, you don't need to have it figured out right away. So I knew that, with Esmeralda Wellness Haven, I had a calling to do this specifically because of my grandmother's passing. Like, I knew that I've always been in the helping profession, and I thrive in being able to help people. That's no news to me, no news to my family, no news to even my action steps throughout my life. I've known that this is where I thrive, and for me to serve people and help people is where I feel most fulfilled in life. And with my grandmother passing, I know that I needed to really figure out ways of honoring her. And everything that I've so far accomplished in my life has been because I've had my grandmother's guidance. And one of the biggest things that she was trying to instill in us as a family was the importance of heritage, the importance of culture, the importance of understanding how our culture drives, and also taking in my femininity and really understanding what big of a role I have as a woman to be able to teach and lead in our family, to also be able to teach and lead in our communities, because my, grandmother was a medicine woman, and that was, a big role in itself. It was a lot of things that she learned, not from the books, not from, being able to engage so much with her family, but actually understanding the community needs. Like, my grandmother had barely any schooling, but she became a crucial healer in the community that we lived in Dominican Republic. And a lot of people looked up to her for healing, for advice, for herbal medications, for being able to understand diets and how they can impact your health. Like, it was a lot of public health related things, and little did she know she was engaging in social work or public health. Like, she didn't know she was doing these things, but these are the type of things that I grew up seeing, and I honored and loved that about my grandmother. And I think, as a lot of us, when we lose people, it's sort of when we sit down and we think like, wow, like all this time passed, and there's so many things that I wish I did differently. There's so many things that I wish I considered and thought about. And the best way that I can do that for me in my healing and in my grief is to really honor her through Esmeralda Wellness Haven, and understanding how these things that she's taught me and instilled in me can be given back to the community like she has. And although I'm doing it in a larger scale and in a professional way, and not so much in a sense of community, I'm looking to actually do that as well through her herbal medicine teachings. And I've been able to do that by taking classes. That was another step I took. Like, can I be a badass herbalist like my grandmother? Probably not. I mean, these are teachings that come from indigenous communities, native communities. Like, these are things that, unfortunately, because I was taken out of that environment as a child, and although I visited and didn't live there, I didn't have those teachings, but I'm hoping to learn them now through my herbal courses and understanding the importance of these communities and what they can teach me, because they are the experts of these medicines. They are the experts of these experiences, and it's important to not put my own thoughts and feelings and emotions and understanding of what these things are, because they're there to teach me. So my goal is to let the medicines kind of teach me and understand them, and also these communities, connect with these communities so that I can better understand how to apply these herbs and these traditions into my life, into my practice, into my teaching, into my family, and hopefully carry on this legacy that my grandmother has left for me. So although I'm not cured from imposter syndrome, and every day I sort of battle with it every single day, trying to understand how it plays a role in my life. I'm really trying to push myself to not think about I can't do this or I won't do this, but I need to do this. I have to branch out and put myself there, because my creativity is being paused, is being hindered by my thoughts, right? And you eventually become your thoughts if you don't take control over your thoughts, your emotions, and your mind. What you believe is what will happen, right? And these are some things that now we're gaining more awareness and understanding, and as a community and as a society, we're starting to see that this is so much more prevalent. So my message for you all today is to really look within yourself. And if you are struggling with imposter syndrome, you're not alone. Even with all my degrees, successes, licenses, I struggle with it, and it's okay to struggle with it and overcome. And it's also okay to take your time. It's never too late to change and be who you want to be in your life. I love you all. Thank you.